we're here to recognize the enduring Garifuna Heritage and the community that continues to carry it forward here in New York City. Woo! Yeah. The Garifuna people are an Afro-Indigenous community descended from West African Indigenous, Carib, and Arawak peoples with roots in St. Vincent and across Central America, including Honduras, Belize, Guatemala, and Nicaragua. It is a culture shaped by resilience, carried through generations, and very much alive right here in our city today, as you can see with all of your beautiful faces. Woo! To begin our program this evening, we'll start with an invocation, and it is my honor to welcome Reverend Andrew Nunez to lead us.
Good night. Praise the Lord. God is good. I always have an issue when it comes to Garifuna, is that since I'm a Garifuna, everybody has to be Garifuna. So one good word that you have to learn Garifuna, don't say I celebrate Garifuna, I don't know something like Garifuna, right? So we're going to stand together and say, Biti Bungyu. Right? You getting that? Biti Bungyu. Sumada. Now we're going to do something. This side say, Biti Bungyu. Sumada. Praise the Lord. Bungyu Ushe, then said by ceremony, did not away like which you want. The Garata was showing ya, which you were going to go to my ceremony. Now the soon Kateba over, Lila Hama Baduin, Yang Africa, here is St. Vincent, Yang Hinduru. I'm Gwele and I'm Marina. Ceremony Lago Battery, Ceremony Lago, Bani Bakono, Mama, Kata Wibatabe, Lugarata Bashoya, Nina Abba, Ceremony Lago Abba, Naniki, the beach of Womu, Biseti, Womu, Sumada, Ceremony Lago, and the Sun Kata Wichele, Hama Wasan Bulege, no Hashur, no Asubusi Hanim, Lugarata Ayano. Ila Garifuna lo asubusi hongu anekate ataka garino lila fasle and lila soon flas ya ibo ela hashu which is serving bungu sumanda. Our Father in heaven, we give you thanks for this place that we come together to worship you and to give you thanks for the great things you have done for the Garifuna family, our ancestors coming from St. Vincent, came from Honduras, coming from St. Vincent, from the struggle, into Honduras, into Belize, Nicaragua, Guatemala, and all over the place. And now we are here in the United States. We thank you for resilience, for protecting us from all evil, and to allow us to be in this place to make a significant differences in our country. We thank you for the leaders of this country, the city. We thank you for the mayor. We thank you for all his staff. And we thank you for allowing us to be here to worship you and to celebrate our heritage. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. God bless you. Itara.
Thank you, Reverend, for setting the tone for this evening as we continue our program, recognizing and uplifting the communities that make up our city. I'd like to invite our speaker, Speaker Julie Menon, to the podium to help us open up the program.
Thank you so much. I really want to thank Councilmember Amanda Farias for being our wonderful MC and host for this evening. And I want to thank my other City Council colleagues who are here, Councilmember Rita Joseph. Councilmember Justin Sanchez. We're also thrilled to have a special guest here, our great Manhattan Borough President, Brad Horman. So tonight's event honors the culture and countless contributions of the Garifuna community, a community whose existence is truly rooted in resistance and whose roots can be traced all the way to your Afro-Caribbean ancestors. It honors the history of a people that are essential to the fabric across our 5 boroughs, and we see that in this beautiful crowd that is here joining us tonight in the People's House. So Obviously, we know that March 11th and April 12th are when this Heritage Month begins and ends, because it marks the forced departure of the Garifuna community from St. Vincent and their arrival in Central America. That month in 1797 was, of course, no ordinary journey, but the Garifuna people are no ordinary people.
That's right.
We know that. Through the dangers of the unknown, your resilience stood the test of exile back then, and over 220 years later, it has stood the test of time, truly until right now. Our city is proof of that, with over 250,000 New Yorkers of Garifuna descent everywhere, from Brooklyn. Anyone from Brooklyn in the house? Garifuna diaspora outside of Central America, and that is something that we truly are so incredibly proud of. For decades, you all have built vibrant communities and sustained so many cultural institutions in our great city. Certainly from the restaurants that you run, to the art exhibits that so many of you curate, to the small businesses that uplift the lives of residents all across the 5 boroughs. Many came here for the chance to achieve the American dream, and it's our responsibility as public officials to make sure to keep that dream and that hope alive. Here in the City Council, we've placed a relentless focus on addressing affordability, and that means ensuring that all Garifuna families and all of our immigrant communities, particularly at this very difficult time with assaults from the Trump administration, from the federal government, on our immigrant communities, that we stand firmly behind you. We want to make sure that New York City truly is a place of tolerance, of inclusion, of standing up against these attacks on our immigrant communities, standing up against ICE, standing up against these raids, and please know that the City Council always has your back on this. And so tonight, yes, that's right. And so tonight is a day of celebration. We look forward to all the incredible artistic performances that I know that we're going to be seeing and hearing from very soon. And we're so thrilled to be celebrating this wonderful moment with all of you, and congratulations to tonight's tremendous honorees. Thank you so much for joining us. And now I'm going to turn it back over to your wonderful MC and host, Councilmember Farias.
Before I continue, let me properly introduce myself. For those that I have not had a chance to meet, I am Councilmember Amanda Farias, and I get to represent District 18 in the Boogie Down Bronx. The Bronx will always get some applause. I know that's right. Let me ask, where is my Garifuna community? I hear you loud and clear, and I'm so glad that you all are here with us. I see we've also been joined that I'd like to give proper shout-outs by the chairman of the board of the Garifuna Coalition USA, Jose Francisco Aguilar. Every year he is so integral to helping us keep the celebration come through here in the chambers for the Garifuna Heritage. Whether your roots are in Honduras, Belize, Guatemala, Nicaragua, or right here in New York City, you are home in this room tonight. And I don't say that lightly, because for a lot of people, getting to a place where you can say that, where you can really feel that, takes time. It takes people holding on to something, even when everything around them is changing. And when you really sit with it, when you realize there's a whole history behind how our communities like this come together, how they grow, and how they end up right here in a room like this tonight. That history runs deep. And because if we're real, that just didn't start here, right? That didn't start in New York. It didn't even start in Central America. Centuries ago, going back to the 1600s, Africans who were being taken across the Atlantic survived a shipwreck and made their way to the island of St. Vincent, where they encountered indigenous Garib and Arawak people, and from that moment, something new was formed. A people, a culture, a new way of life. By the late 1700s, after generations of resistance against British colonial rule, Garifuna people were forcibly removed from St. Vincent and pushed into exile. And those who survived landed along the coasts of Honduras, Belize, Guatemala, and Nicaragua, where they all had to start over all again. And that was happening in a new land with new conditions, but the same fight to hold on to who they are. And they did. They preserved their language, their music, their traditions, and their sense of community. Your sense of community. And over time, that journey continued, bringing families here to New York City, where a strong Garifuna community has taken root again, especially down in the Boogie Down Bronx. Thank you. Not just to survive, but to build. And we have the privilege of continuing to see that work carried forward every single day in our communities. The results of sacrifices made, of decisions taken, and the people choosing again and again to build something more for themselves and for those who come after them. And this evening, we recognize that through the life and work of someone here with us today. A woman who in Honduras pursued her education with discipline and focus, earning certifications that should have positioned her for advancement. Instead, she was denied those opportunities because of discrimination, both because of her gender and her Garifuna background. In 1980, she made the decision to come to New York City in search of fair opportunity she had already worked for. Here she began again. She started as a teller, learned English, and advanced through her work with consistency and determination, rising to become a sales manager and assistant vice president. She held that position with distinction until her retirement in 2015. Through that work, she built stability for her family and created opportunities that extend into the next generation. Her life reflects persistence, advancement, and lasting impact. It is my pleasure, on behalf of the New York City Council, to present this proclamation to Blanca Victoria Arzu.
My name is Blanca Arzu, Blanca Victoria Arzu. I'm here today, I'm very happy. Happy because although it has been a long journey, we made it. The first journey to the United States, who was not filled with the joy I have today. It was filled with sadness and hope. It was filled with fear and courage. Sadness because my husband and I had to leave our kids in Honduras, in the small village of Santa Fe, to migrate to the United States, especially to New York City. It was filled with fear because we were coming to this country was the only chance to build a great family legacy. It was filled with fear because we were coming to a new place and did not know even the language. We did not know how to navigate in this country. It was filled with courage because my mother told me, and she taught me courage. She did not tell me in words, but she taught me in her loud actions. My mother, Elena, raised 5 children for a long time by herself. She became a business owner in the village of Santa Fe, where she provided work opportunities for many of our people in Santa Fe, San Antonio, and Guadalupe. She was also courageous enough to give love opportunity when she married my grandfather. His name was Nicholas. He became our new puppy. We love him very much because he set a good example of what it was to have a good partner in a new marriage. He loved my mother and her children because that is the way it is supposed to be. He helped support my sister Sulma, Sunilda, Teofila, and Dolin, and my 2 stepsisters, Rosie and Sonia. We did not grow knowing the term half-brother or half-sister, or stepfather or step-sibling. We were all one family because that is the way it's supposed to be. I knew I had to make them proud, make my parents proud. I knew that I have to make my children proud, Sulma and Luis. And I was aware of the responsibility. And I had the responsibility to help my Garifuna people. I was very happy when I got this call from Ms. Rosemary Jenkins, and that I was going to be recognized here today, for which I said thank you so much. And I was not going to say no to this invitation because I have a story that needs to be heard by our young Garifuna people. The story is that my family and I became good example of what it means to be a good, hardworking immigrant and citizen of this country. We learned the power of gratitude. We learned the power of strangers that became friends who eventually became family. In this country, I got to learn the story of African American brothers, sisters, and it was because of them that this beautiful black Garifuna woman standing here before you today, my family got opportunities, they fought for it. We were very grateful. I learned how to stay authentic to my culture because I saw Puerto Rican, Dominican, Jamaican community always being proud of their culture. Therefore, we are, and I am a proud Garifuna. I also got to learn the power of education and educating our children. The most important lesson of that throughout my journeys is something that my husband and I have always taught our children for a very long time. God never abandons his children, and what God bless, no man can curse. My husband and I, we are both retired. He retired from the Department of Environmental Protection with the City of New York, and I retired from Ponce de Leon Bank as an Assistant Vice President. College graduate in this country. Starting all over again, coming from Honduras. We have 2 wonderful children, both college graduates, both successful. Sulma, Arthur Brown, my daughter, and Luis Armando. He wasn't able to be here today. My story is not different from any story of a person that does what they need to be done for their family. And for this reason, today, I thank Council Speaker Julie Manning, Council Member Amanda Farias, Crystal Hudson, and Justin Sanchez, Majority Leader Sean Abreu, Majority Whip Camila Hanks, Council Members Gail Brewer, Altia Steven, Shirley Altibon, Elsie Encarnacion, Jennifer Gutierrez, Rita Joseph, Darling Mill, and Susan Swan, and especially Miss Rosemary Jenkins. My husband Armando and I came this morning from Honduras. Journal on April 9, 2026 is a happy, and because it took my entire family to make this happen, because this is the way it's supposed to be. My dreams continue to become true, and I'm very grateful today we are all part of this. Thank you very much. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Good afternoon. I am Councilmember Rita C. Joseph. I am honored to represent the 40th Council District in Brooklyn. It is truly an honor to join you here at City Hall as we celebrate the rich history, vibrant culture, and enduring legacy of the Garifuna people. Today we recognize a community whose story is one of resilience, strength, and cultural preservation. From the shores of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to the coast of Central America, and right here in New York City, the Garifuna people have carried forward a powerful heritage rooted in resistance, identity, and unity. Garifuna culture is expressed through language, music, dance, and traditions. It is a living testament to the importance of preserving our history while building our future. The beauty of Garifuna culture continues to enrich the fabric of our city. Before we bring out our next performers to the stage, I want to take a moment and settle in what you're about to experience. You're about to witness the tradition shaped by victory, by history, carried through generations and kept alive through rhythms, movement, and community. For over 3 decades, they have brought that work to stages across the city and beyond. Through live drumming, movement, and energy that fills the room, the story, the movement they began. So I am proud. I hope you're ready to receive them. Please join me in welcoming the Wabafu Garifuna Dance Theater.
Buenas tardes. My name is Luz Solis Ramos. I am the founder of Garifuna Heritage Center for the Arts and Culture and also director of Wabafu Garifuna Dance Theater. We are pleased to be with you tonight. We are about to take the next 5 minutes to entertain you with this wonderful Garifuna culture. And so don't be shy if you feel like moving side to side on your seat. Enjoy yourself. We want to sing along when you hear the songs. We will be singing in Garifuna, which is an Arawak language of the Caribbean before Columbus came to America. This language exists in Central America, Honduras, Guatemala, Belize, and many states right here in the United States by the Garifuna people. We are based in the Bronx. And I think we're ready to entertain you in this moment. Yes? We're gonna move this mic that way. I was told. Thank you. So the drummers and dancers are ready to entertain you tonight. Wabafu Garifuna Dance Theater.
Amanda Garina, he's here,
everyone. My name is Marcolina. I'm the Deputy Chief of Staff for Councilmember Justin Sanchez. Unfortunately, couldn't be here tonight, but he still wanted to celebrate with all of you tonight. It is truly an honor to be with all of you tonight and recognize someone whose passion, creativity, and commitment have made a long-lasting impact in the cultural and civic life of New York City tonight. For more than a decade, Dorito Martinez has dedicated his work to uplifting underrepresented communities, building bridges across cultures, and creating opportunities where they are needed most. Deeply rooted in his Garifuna heritage, Dorito has remained steadfast in preserving and celebrating the traditions and contributing to the Garifuna, Honduran, and Afro-Latino diaspora. As the founder and CEO of Dorito Martinez Enterprises, He has created powerful platforms that have brought together people together through cultural events, musical showcases, and festivals that have highlighted artistic expression and strengthened community connection. Each day as an outreach coordinator, Lulito continues his important work expanding access to resources in Cantonia Park West community and in District 17. His deep commitment to unity, visibility, and progress is reflected in the work and his efforts that continue to inspire and strengthen communities across New York City. And it is so with my great privilege to present Arturo Benedict, also known as Surito Martinez, with this proclamation on behalf of Councilmember Justin Sanchez in recognition of his outstanding contributions, his leadership, and his unwavering commitment to our communities. Please join me in welcoming Arturo Martinez Benedict.
Buenas tardes. Good evening. First, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Councilmember Justin Sanchez and his Deputy Chief of Staff, Madam Molina, for this honor. To be recognized in the heart of New York City government is a testament not just to my work, but to the resiliency and the growing influence of the Garifuna people here in New York City and New York State. My journey has always been about community, whether through the work with the Garifuna Coalition, the Latino Film Market Festival, Casa Brume, the International Tourism American Creative Festival, and many other organizations that I share. Whether Casa or my recent, one of the biggest views that I have was my recent commitment to the CEC as a civic engagement ambassador. My goal has been simple: to ensure our voices are not just heard, but counted and taken into account. We are a community rich in culture, but we are also a community of voters, taxpayers, and civic leaders. I accept this recognition with humility and humbleness. We are currently at the crossroads where cultural pride must meet civic engagement. It is my duty and the duty of all of us here to ensure the successful generational transfer, and that's why I brought my two nieces, Michaeli and Nene, here. We are giving the media and the civic engagement necessary to ensure that the Garifuna diaspora that is a permanent and recognized stakeholder in the city's future. Thank you for this honor. Let us continue to work together to turn our heritage into a legacy of civic and social power. Serene.
Thank you so much, and congratulations once again to Arturo Martinez. As we continue this evening, it's important to recognize that Garifuna culture is part of a much larger story, one rooted in African diaspora and carried through and across generations in many different forms. One of the ways that story continues is through movement, some of which we've already seen, through rhythm, through dance and music that carry history, identity, and tradition forward. Gumbe Center for African and Diaspora Dance is doing that work right here in New York City through teaching practice and cultural exchange. Through their classes and cultural programming, they teach and practice traditions rooted in Africa and across the diaspora. Their work honors culture, supports artists, and keeps these traditions present in our communities. And tonight, they proudly present Gochegna Dance Company, led by artist-director Vado Diamande, as part of that shared story. West African dance is one of the roots of Garifuna dance, and they are delighted to share this performance all the way from the Ivory Coast with all of us. So let's give a round of applause for them tonight.
Un aplauso otra vez para la Buenas tardes.
Good evening. Thank you for giving us a taste of the Garifuna culture and sharing your talents with us this year. What you bring to the stage is something we all are honored to experience together, and we are grateful for the way that you continue to represent and share Garifuna culture through your work. As we continue this evening, and I also want to say that I am so, it's so wonderful to see so many young people participating and, carrying on the legacy and culture of the Garifuna people, and that's due to many of you who continue that tradition. So as we continue this evening, I want to take a moment to highlight what perseverance looks like today. In a city that never sleeps, in the hustle and bustle of New York City, shaped every day by people who come here, build their lives, families, and communities, and in doing so, they create a sense of belonging. They make it possible for families to remain connected to their culture, their traditions, and to one another, while building their lives here. That's not easy work. It takes consistency, it takes intention, and it takes people who are committed to making sure that connection is not lost over time. Luckily, to find incredible people like that, we don't have to look very far. In fact, we have someone right here in this room who has been doing exactly that. Since founding Liga Honduras Unidos in 2006, Barbara Neal Bennett has built something that has become an integral part of Bronx community life. What began as a youth initiative funded through her own resources created a structured alternative for young people at Ferry Point Park, I'm very proud to represent in District 13, giving them somewhere to go, something to be part of, and something to stay connected to. Through that work, she has helped families remain connected to their heritage while building stability here in the Bronx. She has brought people together across neighborhoods, boroughs, generations, creating a sense of belonging that extends beyond any single program. And she has done that consistently for nearly 2 decades. Her work reflects what it means to sustain a community, ensuring that culture is not only remembered, but lived and carried forward. So it is my honor here in the People's House and on behalf of the New York City Council to recognize her work, her leadership, and her impact. Barbara Neal Bennett, in honor of your outstanding service and enduring contributions to our community, I'm proud to present you with the New York City proclamation.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First I'd like to ask my daughter to come up here. Jacqueline Oliva. Woo-hoo! Thank you. Well, as you see, and I'm so proud of the Garifuna community because we have a lot of talents. First of all, my daughter, she's she's a minister, and she's a probation officer. I'm very proud of her. And as myself, I have 3 other children. I have 4 children, and I am a foster parent since 2000. I love children, and I will do anything to advocate for children. So when you see me, you'll see me pushing strollers. You see me taking them to Ferry Point. You see me do a lot. I also love soccer. And I've been there since 1997 on Ferry Point Park. I started with a team called La Ceiba. Then the person who was there running the league decided between me and everybody that was out there, which was a bunch of men, no ladies. So he decided out of everybody, he's gonna make me, he took me to the park department, introduced me so that I could take over what is soccer. And I was like, I don't know nothing about this. I just know how to scream on the field and run for my team. I was like, no, you gotta do it. So I started praying, and you know prayer takes you everywhere, right? So as of 2006, I have been running League Honduras Unido proudly. Okay?
You are the reason why we have the World Cup.
Let me tell you my goals when it comes to soccer. I believe that soccer, we Honduras community, Garifuna community, that's our football, that's our sports. So you want to keep the kids from unlawful things. So what do? You bring them to sports. So I advocate for them to have sports. I go into the park department and I do anything. I clean the park if I have to, just so that we could be out there. And we have been out there since 2006, right? I'm sorry, I get a little nervous. And first of all, I want to say thank you. Thank you to both of y'all, and thank you to all the elected officials who took the time to acknowledge us for what we do. The Garifuna community does a lot, and it's beautiful to see the recognition that we have got over the years. And you guys make it so possible for us. We couldn't do it without your support. And thank you for all you do for us. Also, we have Jose Francisco. He has been running this. He has been a leader in this. He used to play ball. He was my next door neighbor when I was a little kid. And with that, I want you all to wish him happy birthday. His birthday was yesterday. I didn't write anything. I just come out and tell you, you know, what I love, what I do. And I'm grateful most of all to God, because without God, we can't do nothing. We're nobody without the Lord. So having the Lord in our hearts, let's continue to go out, show love, understand, be careful, be loving. Look at how much beautiful people in here today. We have a full stage. We look like a church with a lot of money. Okay? So I'm so proud, and I'm just so proud to receive this acknowledgement. I received one back in 2015 from Mr. Councilman Rafael Salamanca, and all the elected officials. I received an award from them, and the Garifuna community was part of that, and I continue to feel blessed, and I just want to say, Lord, thank you for what you do for us. I love my kids.
She's in the right house. house for people who like to talk a lot. We all like to talk a lot. Amazing. Thank you all for joining us. I really hope you all have enjoyed the Garifuna cultural experience here in the People's House. It was a pleasure being your host, I think for the 5th year in a row, or the 4th year. Check me on that one for many years in a row. As we come to a close, I want to take a moment to again thank everyone who made this celebration possible, to our co-sponsors and my colleagues. Thank you for your partnership and your continued commitment to uplifting and recognizing Garifuna heritage. To our performers, thank you for your artistry and for the work it takes to keep these traditions active and visible. To the staff and organizers behind the scenes, thank you for your coordination, the time, and the effort it takes to bring something together like this, and for tolerating me. If you love the Garifuna energy from Wagafu Dance Theater brought this evening, you are in for a treat before we leave, because we're going to help us close out tonight's evening with one final performance. Again, thank you all for being with us.
What to?
really appreciate the new writers. Thank you to our councilwoman, Ms. Farias. Thank you very much, and we love you, everybody.
Thank you all for joining and have a great night.
That's always